Alright. Hey guys, welcome back. It's been a while since I've done a Misfortune episode, but I have great news. This is episode 33. We continue basically from where Bregler got back to his home village of Terran. And the last episode was on May 20th, I believe, or roughly around late May. So it's been over a month now. I was working on the Sector Void campaign, a few other videos, board games, etc. I was missing the world of Better Mules, so I wanted to try my hand at it. It's been a while since I've done like a genuine solo RPG, where it was just writing notes and using an oracle. So there has been some changes. We are now using the Cairn system. We gone back to the, I believe, which was the OG system I was using when I first started Misfortune, and Cairn I found to be a good one to go back to for this new chapter in Regler's journey. With that, we changed a few things. First, the format. If I will see how this works out. I don't see why not, but I'm just going to be using my face and talking to you guys, talking head, and enjoying the scenery here, and just I'll be trying my best to describe what I did. And this is actually a recap. I won't be playing during the recording. I felt that was actually pressuring me a bit, so I played for about half an hour, 45 minutes. An episode, no recording, I just did it, and it worked out pretty well, I thought. So now I'm going to recap what happened. I still took notes. I have my character sheet here with my campaign notes, and I'll tell you, you'll hear my voice, and I'll describe to the best of my ability what happened. So with the change to Cairn, we made a few migrations as far as the rules. Our background is now, per Cairn's rules, Smuggler. He's 32 years old, and the three ability scores that Cairn uses, attributes, what I'm going to call them, is Strength, which is at 13, Dexterity is 15, Willpower is 9. His HP with leveling up, so I kept it around 10. His armor is 1, because he has a Brigandine armor equipped. And in Cairn, he can hold up to 10 items, so he has 3 days rations, Torch, Brigandine, which is plus 1 armor, Crossbow, which is a D8, Dagger, D6, a pick, a bucket, the Holy Spear, which is the quest item we're looking for. I changed it from, it was called something else before, I retconned it. Now it's called the Holy Spear. And it's missing a jewel, so instead of the half of it missing, it's a full spear, but a jewel goes up top to power it, to empower it. So we're basically looking for the jewel. And then an instrument, and then a spell book based on Cairn's extra roll you can do for items. It's called Babble. A creature must loudly and clearly repeat everything you think. It's otherwise mute. Which is a really strange magical item or spell book, but I rolled for it, so I kept it in there. Currency-wise, we're at 93 gold pieces. All these statistics, my character sheet is after I did the episode. So the quest list, it's basically called the Broken Staff. That is the quest list we're on right now, or that's the quest we're on right now. Our two objectives is basically to search for the Holy Spear's Jewel of Power, then return it to the Watcher for further guidance. The Watcher is still obviously a character. And I basically just reorganized everything to one sheet. There's nothing really spectacular to look at. It's just the 4 factions we have. The Royal Alliance, kept that name in there. Instead of the Danger House, I changed it to the Goblin House. The Misfits, which have been disbanded, and the Legion, which has been disbanded. Locations, we have Town of Bellhop, we have the Village of Terran, Camp of Misfits, Griffin Cave, Calla Family Farm, Temple Legion, Blood Mountain, Temple, Town of Northrock, and Kingdom Bethlehem, which is the world where basically, or that's the main capital of Bethlehem. World of Bethlehem is the world you're looking at behind me. So, NPC list, we have Dervish, he's deceased. Gruith is deceased. Drake Caliph, he was on the Caliph farm, the father. Belinda, she's deceased. She was the love interest of Dervish. Xena, she was a landowner we briefly met south of Bellhop. Sparky, the companion, dog we currently lost, missing in action. There's Met, he's a cook from Bellhop Tavern. The Watcher, he is our quest giver. He's a traveling wise mage. Owns the Bellhop Inn, which is currently destroyed. And he used to be the prior overseer of the Temple Legion. Rita, that's his wife. She's deceased, unfortunately. Zenith, owner of the Bellhop Tavern. Henrik, couple of new characters here. I almost went too far. I'm going to stop right there. So that is the campaign notes that I've compressed from several Google Docs into one master document. So let's go ahead and begin on the episode here. So this is episode 33. I will read you off. I'll try to kind of translate it to more of a narrative for you guys, and I'll tell you what I rolled. I did note when I used my Oracle and when I used character sheet related elements. So Regular found himself waking up in bed. He looked around his room, still worried about the goblins that raided his house yesterday, the day before, because they were in the pantry looking around, most likely for the jewel. And then, so I asked the Oracle, is there anything unusual? Because we woke up in our bedroom. 50% chance anything was unusual. I rolled a 57, so there's nothing unusual seen, just his bedroom. Beggar got up, went to the kitchen, checked the pantry for food, and unfortunately, I asked the Oracle, is there anything left after the goblin raid? 40% chance. There is. I rolled 86, which means the pantry is mostly empty, just a few open jars and half-eaten bread. So, with that in mind, Regular got ready and left to go to the market. He got dressed, packed up his belongings, grabbed the spear, put that in his backpack, locked my doors. And I will try to talk from, it's been tough, but I will try to talk from first person actually, because third person, I tend to lean to first person describing Regular, so I'm trying to, trying to become the character in these videos. So I will try to my best to stick to first person. I got dressed, I packed my belongings, I grabbed the spear, locked the doors. Now, I asked the Oracle, is the back door broken due to the goblin raid? It's a 50% chance. I think we did figure this out in the previous episode, that was a month ago. But I did 50% chance, and I rolled a 14, which means the door was indeed broken. Windows shattered, they broke in. So I realized I need to fix this, so I grabbed my tools. I fixed the lock. With Karen, you want to roll your ability number or less. You want to roll within it, basically. And this was a will check, so my will is 9, which is a little lower than the average bear. I rolled a 2, so I was able to fix the lock, but not the window. If I rolled a 1, I was able to fix the lock and somehow fix the window, apparently. But I covered the window with just a cloth or some kind of tarp, and I left the house, locked the front door, and now I was outside. I looked around and I asked the Oracle, do I see anything unusual? Still, I'm still kind of cautious. 25% chance. I figured I was in my village after it's early morning hours, just getting up. Those goblins are probably most likely gone. But I actually rolled a 16% out of 25% chance. So that meant I needed something to be kind of unusual. So I thought of I saw a hooded individual across my way, walking by me, while briefly looking at me. So just a hooded individual. Didn't see his face, was covered up, but he kind of turned his head and kept walking east. So I kept my eye on him. I was rather suspicious, obviously, but I don't think it's highly unusual to see a hooded individual in these times. So I was just more cautious than anything after being almost robbed by a bunch of goblin bandits. So while he walks by, does he continue walking? 75% chance. Another Oracle question. 67, yes. He continues walking east, but out of the neighborhood, basically. It was just a simple yes. So I head to the market east. I kept my distance away from the hooded person. Do I encounter anyone? I asked the Oracle. 65% chance. 17, I do encounter someone. I encountered the village guard. Does he speak to me about the arrest a couple weeks ago, which, if you remember in the very first episode, we were arrested for trying to, I think, rob a business of sorts. And it is an 80% chance that's why he's talking to me. There was a 36% chance I rolled, and that's a yes. He mentions, even though I've been pardoned by the Royal Alliance, he is still keeping his eye on me. So he's also cautious that I'm back, walking around free, and willy-nilly walking around free. But because the Royal Alliance have authority and say over everyone, even common village guards, then I am a free man. But he obviously has his doubts. So, in describing him, he's a tall, muscular. He's the only guard in town. I didn't really think about any other details about him. But his name is Henrik. So that's the character we had. I mentioned from earlier. That is the new character we encountered into our list. So I assured him that I won't be any trouble. I've got my moral compass realigned, as I said to him. That was a willpower throw, and my will, what is, like I said, 9, pretty low. So I did a 14, which is a fail. He's essentially doubtful. He doesn't believe me, but he's not allowed to arrest me for no reason. So I just basically I keep going. I reached the heart of the village. I asked the oracle how many shops. Well, I rolled how many shops are there in the heart of the market. It's a village. Something is not very busy as far as structures are, or it's not very crowded as far as structures. There's probably a lot of merchants willy nilly, but as far as like buildings, shops, there's two, at least that I was able to see. There's a magic shop that I called Clover Scrolls, and then there's an armory shop called Silver Shine. So I took a look around the hooded figure. Sorry, I looked around for the hooded figure, and the question Oracle was, do I see him? Because he's still in the back of my mind. 50% chance. I rolled 23. Yes, I see him walking into the magic shop, the Clover Scrolls. So with that in mind, I was actually intending to speak to the Clover Scrolls. That way, that's where I was going to go because I wanted to research the spear. So that shop, knowing that the one who owns it might have some knowledge about the spear, if he's selling scrolls or magic, etc., like lore items. I don't need any weapons. I have a couple of them, so I thought I'm going to go there. So I enter the shop. I walk in. I asked the oracle, is the shop well maintained? 80% chance. I rolled a 10, so yes. The shop is highly organized and clean from a visual standpoint. I cautiously look around for the hooded man while I approach the front counter. The question was, do I see the hooded man? 90% chance, because he's in here. And I rolled a 38. Is he behind the counter? That's a yes. Is he behind the counter? 75% chance. I rolled a 26. He is. This hooded man is standing behind the counter looking right at me. He takes off his hood to reveal an old man, bald, clean shaved. I asked the oracle, do I know this man? 50% chance. I rolled a 42. I asked 50 because I'm just not sure. I'm not sure if my character knew the character. I'm not sure if I'm not sure. 42%, which means yes, but I don't know his name. I just recognize his face. So I'm not really a frequent shopper of this business. I said, I'm guessing you own this shop. And he says, that's correct. I fold my arms. Earlier glanced at me. Why is this? I asked him. I asked the oracle, was he looking at the spear when he walked by me? 90% chance. And I rolled a 61. That's a simple yes. He steps closer to the counter, eyeing the spear behind me. Hold on 1 second. Let's do a little correction there. Behind my back. The spear's just kind of in my bag. There's like a little pass-through point, and it's just kind of sticking out like this. And he's basically looking at the spear, and he says, "Indeed, young man, visibly very unique." So that's what he says in regards to spear. Visibly very unique. I ask him if he knows much about the spear. And I ask the oracle, does he know anything about it? 65% chance. Yes. And actually, I rolled a no. 88%. So I was actually like, okay, he doesn't know much about it. Then he replies, I can't say it's seen my eyes before. So I ask him, what's your name? He says, Filaro, at your service. He steps back and smiles, gesturing his hands like this to show prominence, like his hands are hard. Filaro, at your service. So he kind of does like a bow. So he's kind of a gentleman, but, obviously slightly mysterious. I tell him, you have quite the shop here, as I look around. He says, feel free to browse, my friend. I do offer discounts for locals such as yourself. So he knows I'm a local because he saw me step out of a house in the area. I ask him if he could research the origins of this spear, willing to pay. And I ask the oracle, does he agree? 90% chance because it's money. He says, I rolled 31? Yes. So he says, if the amount is worth it, I will do what I can. I ask him how much with the discount in mind. He says, for you, 27 gold. I rolled basically just a D100 and I put out 27. I say, deal. So I hand him the spear slowly, along with the 27 gold pieces. He takes the spear, looks around it for a few moments. I watch attentively. He sees the missing jewel at the top, a small groove where a jewel would be placed. He says, interesting, it appears that this point would have a small jewel in it of sorts. He then asked me, where did you get such a thing? I ponder if I should reveal such details of the Watcher, seeing that it may help him learn of the spear. I go for it. I mention the Watcher, and I mention what I've been tasked with to find where the origins of the spear is and where I should go. And he says, not where I should go, just basically where the spear came from to find the jewel. Then I asked a question, a lore question. Does he know the Watcher personally? And I said 80% chance he does. A wise old man in the village most likely has traveled the land. I rolled 18%, so he does. He says, the Watcher, you say, very intriguing. Such an item of importance must be for him. I wonder why he gave you such a mysterious task. And I said, well, the unfortunate death of his wife at the hands of a dark force has left him bound to the place of work back in Belha, his place of work. Let's just say his home is in the other building. So he follows up saying, how unfortunate. I knew it was wife. Rita, was it? He sets the spear down on the counter. He says, I shall look into my books and find the information you seek about this spear. Is there anything else you need from me? I said, when should I return? He looks back at the spear. A day, perhaps. And I say, that is acceptable. I shall be off then. Thank you, sir. I leave the store, enter the market, and I simply ask the question, do I encounter anything while I step outside? 50% chance, I'm just not sure. And I rolled a 16, yes. And that's actually a pretty good 16. Pretty good chance of yes. So I basically just thought of it. I saw shadowy bandits in the distance and attempting to mug some villagers. And it turned out just one villager. I see a group of bandits mugging an old lady villager. It's the local guard around. I asked the Oracle 50% chance if the guard is around, 64% chance. I rolled, so no. The guard is not around at the moment. I don't see the guard anywhere as I look around. Other villagers watch in dismay. They are scared to help. So I asked how many bandits are there? Is there 2? 85% chance. And I rolled a 5. Yes, there is 2 bandits. That's a strong yes. The bandits are trying to steal the old woman's fruit from her cart. She's swatting them at them with screaming. She's trying to fight back, but not really to no effort, to no avail. I walk up to them and shout, "Hey, worthless scum! Hands off the fruit!" The bandits turn around and see me. I ask the Oracle, I used to be a criminal myself. Do I recognize them? 75% chance. And I roll 35. So, yes, I did recognize them, though just their faces. Just by face, not names. I recognize them both from the Misfits. That's where they're from. They laugh. Well. Isn't it the traitor himself? So there's 2 of them. That's the main one. The other tosses the fruit down and pulls up a dagger out. The main bandit appears to be very overly confident, hands on his waist, like this, just has his hands like that. Takes a step to me. And I say, Misfits, I thought you guys were done for. Main bandit laughs. Not at all. Not all of us follow Dervish to his death wish. So these 2 are they obviously had a mutiny of sorts and they ran. The other bandit pipes in, yeah, we're starting our own group now. Correct that there. We're starting our own group now. The main bandit looks at his comrade. Shut up, Earl. Earl, not very threatening I say, Earl, not very threatening of a name. Earl aims his dagger at me. What did you say? Main bandit pushes Earl back. I've got this. So they're kind of 2 buffoons. One is like Mo Howard. The other one's like Larry Curly put together. I say, why don't you both get the hell out of my town? Main bandit, look at you playing hero. You think you can take both of us? So, at this point, just some context, my character's trying to redeem himself. He was arrested, had all that shenanigans of Misfits, helped the Royal Alliance. Now he's back home, kind of has a bad opinion from the guard, wants to right his wrongs, basically, at this point. So, our character's trying to do a 180 on his moral compass. So, just lost my place here. Okay, there I am. So I say, they say you think you can take both of us. I say, of course, I took down Dervish and Growth at the same time, which is a slight exaggeration, but I didn't inevitably take them down at some point. Earl chimes in, He yells, "Liar! Gruith was the best." Main bandit says, "I highly doubt that," as he chuckles. Then I ask the question to Oracle because we're talking for some time. Not much is happening, like physically. Does anything happen during a conversation? 75% chance something happens. I rolled a 61, which is a good yes. The village guard finally walks in, seeing the scuffle. The guard walks in, and it says, "What's going on here?" As he draws his weapon. He notices the guard. Or I notice the guard. The guard looks at me and the bandits. The guard questions me at first. "Oh, you causing trouble again?" And then I asked another oracle question. Does the old lady chime in to defend me? It was an 80% chance. And I actually rolled a 99 on this one. So that's a big no. She's still gathering her fruit. Like, she's still, while, the bandits are distracted by us, the guard and me, the old lady's picking the fruit up, trying to clean up after this mugging gone wrong. The bandits notice the guard. Earl freaks out a bit. Earl says, "Oh no, Devin, we should leave now." So there's another name, Devin. That's the main bandit. So that's two characters I added to the NPC list. It's Earl and Devin. Just FYI, remember those. We'll get to that in a second. We'll get to that at the end of this video. I told the guard these two were trying to mug that helpless villager. I was about to handle it. The guard looks to the old lady and asks her, "Madam, is this true?" And I ask the oracle, "Does the old lady confirm 9% chance?" I rolled an E5. She does, but hesitantly confirms the truth. So I smile at the guard, kind of like sarcastically, or not sarcastic, kind of like smile, like, yeah, I tell you, or I was trying to tell you. The guard still seems doubtful, but focuses on his attention now on the bandits. So, okay, so he's partially convinced that I'm genuinely trying to help this villager from being mugged. And the guard's like, "Okay, well, let's focus on the problem at hand, and that's the bandit." So, the guard says to the bandits, "Give back anything you took and surrender yourselves." I ask the oracle, do the bandits surrender? 50% chance. 37% chance, no. They draw their weapons. I did 50 because I felt like the main bandit, Devin, is overconfident, so he will fight. The other guy, Earl, is kind of a scaredy cat, so he might flee. Hint, hint. So, Devin says, over my dead body," as he pulls a sword out. He runs at the guard, he just runs at the guard and lunges. I quickly equip my crossbow and fire at the main bandit first, right before he strikes or attacks the guard. And we enter combat. So, combat for Karen is simple, but I have a tendency to mess it up. So I try to keep this combat narratively / the rules, so kind of a house mix. Basically, Devin and Earl are, they have their own stats. They have HP, armor, strength, dexterity, will, and a couple of weapons. I based the guard on bandits too. This is actually straight from the Karen website. I just figured that he's a low-level guard protecting a small village, so his stats aren't too impressive either. He has armor on, etc. But and with Karen rules, it's really easy to die, so I try to avoid conflict whenever possible. But here's basically the string of events that happened in this encounter. I fire the crossbow at Devin. Devin takes 6 damage based on my D8 roll. Now he's -1 because of 5 damage. Devin has to roll a strength save, and a 19. I rolled a 19 for him. That's a fail. So he collapses with an arrow right in his upper body. The guard is shocked by my sudden help. Again, the guard is still kind of surprised what's going on. So he looks to me right when the arrow hits Devin, and the guard is shocked by my help. I didn't really say if he smiles or not. He just looks at me. The remaining bandit looks at both of us, and he attempts to flee. So with that's a dexterity throw, and bandits have a dexterity of 12. He rolled a 3, so he's able to flee. That is part of the mechanic in the game. So he runs off up in the battle, leaving behind his comrade. Henrik attempts to subdue the remaining bandit, which is a strength save throw, which is 12. I rolled a 10, so Henrik is the guard. He's able to subdue the bandit on the ground, Devin. So the main bandit is bleeding out, coughing blood, struggling. not really dead per se, but he's really hurt. Um, Henrik walks over to the bandit, all for some fruit, he says. The bandit tries to talk, which was, I did ironically do a will save for this, and his will was 9, so I rolled a 6. So he yells, "Guard scum, we're coughing up blood." I asked the Oracle, does Henrik arrest the bandit? Of course, 90% chance, pretty solid. I rolled a 52, yes. Henrik picks him up and puts us, with the arrow still in his chest. He subdues him, arms behind his back. I walk up to him, try to pull the arrow out of the chest, and actually I did a strength check here. My strength is 13, which is decent, but I rolled a 14, which is a fail. So I say, yikes, that's a deep. So I wasn't able to get the arrow out of his chest, so obviously that kind of tugged the bandit, and he probably screamed in pain. The bandit spits at me. Does Henrik thank me for the help? 50-50 on this one. 34% chance, 34, I rolled a 34, so that's a yes. So the guard says, good assist back there. I tell him, glad to help, but we still have the runaway, so I point to my back, I do this. And I ask the Oracle, is Henrik at all worried about the other bandit? 25% chance. I think he's probably not too worried about him for some reason. And I rolled a 59, so no, he's not too worried about him. The guard laughs, no need, he's someone else's problem now. So, again, this guard's probably not paid too well, or he just doesn't like his job. He's just one understaffed guard protecting this village out in the middle of nowhere. Well, not really out in the middle of nowhere, but certainly a distance away from the kingdom of Bethamule. So I figured, yeah, he wants to deal with this one problem at a time. So he's holding the one guy. The one ran off, doesn't want to chase him. So the guard walks away with Devin arrested. I watch them walk away. I check on the old lady. I ask the Oracle, is she doing okay? 50-50. 40% chance I rolled, so that's a yes. She's almost done cleaning up after the mugging. I ask the Oracle another question. Does she say does she notice me, basically? I had a 75% chance. I rolled a no, 96. She remains quiet. I ask her, do you need any help? Does she reply? 65% chance, a little lower now. Or a little lower. And I rolled a 20, so yes. She smiles and nods her head. I help pick up her remaining goods on the grounds and back into the cart. And then I tell her, I'm sure those two won't bother you again. She smiles. As long as nice adventurers like you are around, I need not worry. So, I'm a venturer now, or at least in the eyes of the villagers. I smile, look around the other villagers. I ask the Oracle, are the other villagers aware of my good deed, or did they see me do this good deed? 75% chance. I roll a 6, which is a strong yes. They're not clapping, like cheering for me. Yeah, go Breglor. But many of the villagers take notice of my actions and continue about their day. So they're not, they feel safer to an extent with me here. Though I'm still worried about the other bandit running away. So I remember seeing the bandit run south. I looked to Clover Scrolls, just kind of thinking about the spear, and then back in the direction of the south where the bandit is. I think if I capture the remaining bandit for the guard, it will help my reputation with him, while Valero is researching the spear, and I have about a day. So this kind of makes sense. I thought, all right, I'll go get the bandit, the second one. So I begin venturing south from the market, looking for the bandit, and that's it. That's episode 33. That's where I ended. I ended at the point where I felt like it was best. I'm just traveling south. And for this one, I felt I tried to give a lot of character building for Breglor. Now that he's post-criminal, undercover, turncoat, magic wielder, spear adventurer. A lot of little identities in there. But now he's just I have a smuggler's background, but the villagers see him as an adventurer. So we'll see if that sticks. But yeah, that's episode 33. It's been a long time since I did Misfortune. For me, a month plus is a long time for not doing, this one campaign here. I felt rusty at moments, but I think I had plenty of Oracle questions. I used my general D100 Oracle. I didn't use the one-page Mythic. I didn't use one-page Solo Engine. I just used just from here and think about what could be entertaining, challenging, etc. So Bandit's Road is a quick little go-to for me. But I do like the direction it's going, and trying to stick with the main quest. Now we have this kind of side quest that I voluntarily decided to go. I want to pursue to increase my reputation amongst the villagers. for the place I live in. So just kind of to rebuild my image, knowing that I was, inspired by the Royal Alliance and Watcher, that I can do good. I don't have to be a low-level thief. Regular can actually be a good person and help. So, I wasn't killing anybody before all this. I wasn't a terrible mass murderer character or some kind of ruthless, overlord. I was just a low-level thief stealing apples or, pouches of gold. But yeah, this is opportunity for Bregor to turn things around, and especially get a good reputation with the Guard, because I think Bregor still wants to join the Royal Alliance, and as an adventurer now, as seen by that lady, we can gain more experience, getting stronger, faster, smarter, etc. So that's really it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this format. There's no visuals here. I don't have any notes open. I just wanted to try this format for this episode. And if I get comments saying this is good or not, I'll see. I don't make promises on here. I just want to try something different. And if I think this is fine, but I do like, I did enjoy playing this episode out without being recorded, like feeling pressure that I have to keep moving. I can take breaks. I can think about something in my head, like, what if I did this instead? So, there were a few retcons, obviously. I'm sorry if I missed a few, but I did want to mention that in the beginning, as a not a spoiler warning. But I retconned a few things because I just forgot about some stuff, and I did lose a good amount of notes. I don't recall if it was on my older computer, but I couldn't find them, so I just had to kind of improvise on some things behind the scenes. But overall, I felt it went well. So, with that being said, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. My camera is. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you guys next time on 830 RPG. And this is now called. Totally forgot to mention this. This is called the Misfortune Legacy. This is the new chapter in Bregor in the Misfortunes. So, but I will maintain the episode numbers in chronological order for when they started, when the Misfortune started. So, all right, guys, take care. Thank you for watching.